Behind the concrete walls and razor wire, there's a hidden economy most Americans never see. While you're paying $447,000 per year to keep one person locked up in New York City, someone else is making massive profits from their labor, paying them less than $1 an hour. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on a $200 billion industry that's been operating in plain sight. From the companies profiting off human captivity to the corrupt system that keeps the pipeline flowing, this is the story they don't want you to know. The Staggering Scale. Let me paint you a picture that will make your blood run cold. America, the land of the free, imprisons more people than any other nation on Earth. We're talking about 2.3 million human beings locked in cages right now. But here's where it gets twisted. The United States represents just 4% of the world's population, yet we house 20% of the world's prisoners. China has 1.5 billion people. We have 330 million. Yet somehow, we manage to imprison roughly the same number of people. This isn't an accident. This is a business model. In New York City alone, it costs $447,000 to imprison one person for a year. That's more than staying at the world's most luxurious hotels. The Burj Al Arab in Dubai, the Mandarin Oriental overlooking Central Park. You could live like royalty for less than what it costs to keep someone in a concrete cell. The birth of a monster. The first private prison in America was built just 40 years ago, in 1984. From that single facility in Texas, something terrifying happened. Prison populations exploded by 194%, while America's overall population grew by only 36%. This explosion wasn't random, it was engineered. In 1971, President Nixon declared the war on drugs, and suddenly, possession of small amounts of substances became a pipeline to prison. Drug trafficking alone now accounts for more federal prisoners than murder, robbery, sexual abuse, and firearms charges combined. But here's the part that will make you question everything. The same investment firms that own your retirement funds are the biggest shareholders in private prison companies. BlackRock owns 14.16% of GEO Group, one of America's largest private prison operators. Vanguard owns nearly 10%. When Ice Cube said the same people who own record labels own the prisons, he wasn't being dramatic, he was being accurate. The money machine. Private prisons operate on a simple business model. More prisoners equals more money. They charge the government a daily rate for each person they cage, typically called a per diem, to make it sound less inhumane. Want to increase profits? Pack more people into the same space. Cut corners on food, healthcare, and basic human needs. And most importantly, lobby for laws that put more people behind bars. But here's what's truly insidious. Private prisons only house 8% of America's prisoners. The other 92% are in government-run facilities that somehow still cost taxpayers a fortune. How is this possible? The answer lies in a web of corruption that extends far beyond the prison walls. Public correction agencies spend $87 billion annually just on operations. Another $38.4 billion goes to employee salaries. That's 640,000 jobs dependent on keeping people locked up. Healthcare costs inside prisons, $12.3 billion. Construction of new facilities, $3.3 billion. Every politician knows that reducing prison populations means eliminating hundreds of thousands of jobs. It's political suicide. The Labor Plantation. Inside America's prisons, there's a workforce of nearly 2 million people, earning less than $1 per hour. They manufacture goods, fight fires, clean buildings, and even sew Made in America labels onto clothing. In a cruel twist of irony, this isn't rehabilitation. This is exploitation. Companies can access cheap domestic labor without dealing with unions, benefits, or fair wages. They don't need to ship jobs overseas when they can use prisoners at home. The workers can't quit, they can't strike, they can't negotiate. They're the perfect workforce for corporations seeking maximum profit. Major companies have built their business models around this captive labor force. From manufacturing to call centers, prison labor has become so embedded in the American economy that removing it would cause supply chain disruptions across multiple industries. The pipeline begins. The path to prison often starts long before any crime is committed, through a practice called civil asset forfeiture. Police can seize your property, your car, your house, your cash, without ever arresting you or charging you with a crime. They just need to claim they suspect your property might be connected to criminal activity. By 2014, law enforcement seized more property from citizens than actual burglars stole. This creates a perverse incentive. Police departments have discovered that drug dealers leaving town with cars full of money are more profitable targets than those arriving with cars full of drugs, so they set up stings on the highways where the money is traveling, not where the drugs are. The seized assets fund police departments directly. One police chief described it as pennies from heaven, free money for new equipment, salaries, even margarita machines. The conviction factory. Once you're in the system, the deck is stacked against you. There are over 300,000 federal crimes on the books, and 98% of them weren't even written by elected officials. They were created by unelected bureaucrats in regulatory agencies. Most Americans commit multiple felonies every day without knowing it. When prosecutors want to charge someone, they have an almost unlimited menu of options. The system is designed to process people quickly and efficiently. Public defenders are overwhelmed, handling hundreds of cases simultaneously. The average federal criminal case ends in a plea bargain. People accept guilt for crimes they may not have committed simply because fighting the charges would bankrupt them. The geographic disparity. The cost of imprisonment varies wildly depending on where you are. New York spends $69,000 per prisoner annually. Connecticut, Vermont, and Rhode Island follow close behind. Meanwhile, Kentucky manages to house prisoners for just $14,000 per year. This isn't about providing better conditions. It's about different states having different levels of corruption and inefficiency in their systems. The same basic function costs 4 times more in some states than others, with no corresponding improvement in outcomes. The corporate web. The prison industrial complex extends far beyond the facilities themselves. It's a vast network of suppliers, contractors, and service providers, all feeding off the incarcerated population. Commissary sales generate $1.6 billion annually, selling basic necessities to prisoners at inflated prices. Phone companies charge families $1.3 billion per year for calls to their incarcerated loved ones. Healthcare companies bill $12.3 billion for medical services that would cost a fraction of that amount in the outside world. Each of these industries has a vested interest in maintaining high prison populations. They lobby for harsher sentences, fight against prison reform, and donate to politicians who support tough-on-crime policies. The human cost. Behind every statistic is a human life destroyed, families torn apart, communities decimated, children growing up without parents, creating the next generation of people likely to end up in the system. The United States has created a self-perpetuating cycle of incarceration that destroys lives while generating massive profits for a select few. We've turned human misery into a business model, and we've done it so efficiently that most people never realize it's happening. The prisoners fighting wildfires in California for $2 per day. The inmates manufacturing products sold in stores across America. The people sitting in cells right now, generating revenue for companies they'll never know exist. This is the machine that operates in the shadows of American democracy, turning citizens into commodities and justice into a profit center. The next time someone tells you that crime doesn't pay, remind them that's only true if you're the one committing it. For everyone else in this system, the companies, the contractors, the investors, crime pays very, very well. The question is, how much longer will we allow this machine to keep feeding on human lives?